All right, welcome everyone. We are here. Today is Tuesday the 14th.
Flag Day.
Flag Day. Woo woo. Anyway, I'm here with a very good friend of mine and colleague of mine, Sean LaRue from Franklin Loan Center. I'm sorry.
Franklin Loan Center.
Franklin Loan Center. So anyway, welcome to. You're the first guy that I have in here.
Oh, this is cool.
This is it.
This is cool.
This is our new studio in here and our things like this, but. Anyway, we wanted to talk to you kind of what's going on in the world of real estate. Lots of information going around. So why don't you kind of lead us in, kind of hear what your thoughts are on the mortgage world side, and I kind of fill you in a little bit on the real estate side, and we'll go from there.
So, I mean, I think we kind of had a general idea that, we don't want to be overly optimistic, overly pessimistic.
Right.
The news out there is designed to make us fearful of the market. We were talking briefly about how, things are definitely different than the recession.
Right.
We don't have the major resets in mortgage interest rates or payments, converting from interest only or interest only to a different rate, but also to a fully amortized payment.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a lot of those things. So, right now I think a lot of the fear is coming from prices and high interest rates. I don't know that prices are going to come down much. I know that everybody's been coming on the market with pie in the sky asking prices.
Absolutely.
And then immediately reducing them. We're seeing major price reductions, like 5-10% price reductions quickly
Right
coming
out
off
of the
the
gate.
market.
Yeah.
And the big thing, this is June 14th, 2022. This is the day after yesterday the market crashed in the mortgage bond world.
Yeah.
We had a no demand or no buy on any of our assets,
They're crazy, right?
and we closed down about 120 basis points on the day, which, I mean, I still need to price another loan, but that could potentially be anywhere from 0.25% to 0.75% in rate.
Right.
So how can we afford to be in the market right now?
So that's where I think I would come into, and I think there is a lot of. I will poke some holes in here, and I may have myself in front of the skis, but I think the media has put a lot of fear into the market. I think there's still great opportunity for real estate to purchase a home, whatever you're looking to do. But however, that 4-bedroom, 3-bath home that you wanted to because rates were a little bit different, well, maybe that's not it right now.
That's
It's a stretch right now. It's happened. We have a couple clients that way.
And maybe it worked with lower rates.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And it's not saying, but there's an opportunity to it. Is I'm not saying that you need to go out and buy just because, but there's opportunity. There's some great homes out there that may not be the same size that you originally wanted, but at least we're still in building equity. As we know right now, again, nothing against the rental market as well. Excuse me, landlords for that stuff, but rent is becoming super expensive.
Right.
I mean, you're looking for a 2-bedroom. It's like all of a sudden 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom to rent a house. It's $2,500 a month unfurnished.
Oh yeah.
And we can do something a little bit else there.
If you can find a long term.
If you can find a long term.
If you can find a long term, if they're not all short term, asking for $4,500 to $5,500 a month.
And that's where I'm getting at. So let's not. I guess I'm concerned about where. Don't wait.
Considering other market opportunities
yeah.
and where you're at, if you're waiting for prices to come down or rates to come down.
Yeah.
There's always opportunity in the market, and it just depends on what you're getting, what the deal is with the seller, their circumstances, and how you can structure the deal.
Yeah, and we're seeing more inventory in the market.
We definitely are.
It makes it a little bit. We're not competing with maybe 5 or 6 offers. There'll be some product that will have that.
We're seeing open houses.
We're seeing open houses. We're seeing people show up these open houses. We're seeing a little bit more stuff to choose from. So I think
we're
that
back to normal, maybe
a little bit, and we needed it.
Well, what we were
needed
going through was totally unsustainable. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think the price reductions are just also people just listing right, but
Right.
why not just list right off the bat? I think I'll just say it, I think a lot of agents have gotten used to being an order taker and not doing the comps or not knowing how to run the comps for what the property should actually sell for. and when you ask them, well, how did you come up with that price per square foot?
Something down the street sold it that way.
I haven't had to answer that question in 2 years.
Right.
Like, I'm not trained on that, and there's still a lot of out of the area people, listing property out here that may not know the subdivision differences in value between one country club and another, which is a very big difference out here.
I absolutely agree. So there's a lot of conversation there on the seller side. Definitely, it's a little bit more in depth with the real estate agent. What do you know about the market? Let's look at some comps. Let's look at what's really viable right now. We're probably not going to see, as I said, 5 or 6 offers, $100,000 over ask. Those even $30,000 over ask. Not saying that's not going to happen. There's just going to be a little bit rare bird. Also, there's opportunity too now that if like people were panicked in a long time, especially in our world here in the desert, everything was cash buy. We're starting to see some finance deals a little bit.
Finance is coming back.
Finance is coming back a little bit because
properties aren't coming off the market in 48 hours. So we actually have time to get it listed and marketed.
Marketing
In the market.
the other money that we spend on, if you are spending money on marketing, which
the true pros are going to shine right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're expecting a lot of the people who had gotten in the mortgage business who, maybe we're in hospitality or doing something different, low hanging fruit, easy money, but a lot of those people don't know how to put mortgages together.
Right.
Like, don't know how to do a full doc deal.
Don't know the market.
Don't know how to do, what the process is.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, but I think that's the biggest thing that and we'll definitely do more of these as the future comes on, especially now when we have this studio here that we have in here. But guys, reach out to me, reach out to Sean. If it's not us, find your realtor that you've been using. Find your mortgage person that you've been using, whatever that is, because there's a lot of information that you're not getting.
And leverage people and that are accountable to you. Get a referral, because I'm seeing, especially with the big gaps in mortgage products and rates lately, there's just been so much bait and switch. Deal with and work with people like, and trust.
Yep, I think that's a big thing too. So it's just, ask a lot of questions. Don't hit the panic button. This is, I believe, and Sean may have a different thing to this, but I believe this is not 2008. It's a different market. We came out of a scarcity market, like, hey, I have to have it. I go sit here and I can work from home and do all this stuff when we do some things. There's still some opportunity. The Coachella Valley is loaded with some great real estate still that you can either finance or you can pay cash whenever you want to. And the
market's actually very healthy.
It's very healthy.
It's very healthy. I mean, the biggest point we need to make actually is that most of the deals are all cash.
Correct.
But because they're all cash, that means that they're not upside down,
Correct.
Which means they're not going to panic, which
Correct.
means the values are going to hold, guys. And if a property comes on the market to be sold, there's more cash behind it coming to the market, and so there's plenty of home equity there. The market's not going to crash, and we're not seeing the adjustable rates or the adjustable terms and the interest-only adjustments on those payments either.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different thing. I don't know what's going to happen, but
I got a great question. I'm going to put you in the hot spot right now.
Fun.
All right. I am hearing some lenders chirping about do an adjustable rate right now for like. Do you like that or not like that?
So as I was saying, like, we don't have the adjustable rates. One thing that I would say about that right now is 30-year fixed and 7-year ARMs have been, the shorter terms have been inverted, meaning 30-year fixed rates have been less expensive than a 7-year fixed adjustable. And what that means is that your payments are fixed for 7 years,
right,
and then they can adjust every 6 or 12 months after that.
Right.
Right now in this market, I would recommend it.
Okay.
I am looking at doing more of those, and the reason is because in the first 2 to 3 years, you're not paying off much principal.
Correct.
In your mortgage, which means that if interest rates go down, you're not going to have paid off a lot more if you take a higher 30-year fixed rate you're going to have a higher payment. So that higher payment's going to principal. If you're only going to have the place for 6 to 8 years, which most people, that's the
Right.
national average. That's the national average. Anybody holds a mortgage. You know, there's some good opportunity to, if you're speculating that interest rates could come back down, which I don't
No,
know.
crystal ball.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of volatility right now. I know we have 2 big elections coming up that are going to have a lot to do with that. I anticipated interest rates going way up. I think that as soon as the prime interest rate kind of settles down a little bit and the Fed decides whether they're buying, selling, or holding mortgage-backed securities, we're going to have more stability in the market as well. The problem is the Fed's selling the bonds and nobody's buying them.
Yep,
So just like maybe hang on to them for a minute.
maybe.
Yeah,
Would be the smart thing to do, right?
maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
So anyways, guys, this is a lot of spitball on here, and probably went a little bit longer than we wanted to, but again, we just want to open the conversation to you guys. We'll be sending this out to you. Feel free to give us a call. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to do whatever you need to do, but ask questions. Turn off your TV. Is it different? It's different. Is it sky falling? No, the sky's not falling. We're in a different world. We were in a different world 2 years ago when we had a crazy market. But again, I think there's still opportunity for those of you guys who are getting loans. There's some great opportunity for you to get some really great pieces of property. Start building equity now. Sean said earlier too, I highly doubt that maybe the guys that priced the houses a little high kind of really divided the wave a couple months ago, and they missed out a little bit on that market. Maybe you'll start seeing those come down. Those are the price reductions. If prices were done wrong out of the gate, I mean, it is what it is. We don't have a crystal ball, and you kind of go off of some stuff. So, however, I'm just saying is we're not going to see this major drastic.
It's happening slowly. Everything happens slowly. And what we're talking about right now is what everybody's going to be reporting in 2 months.
Right.
Because we feel it today.
Right.
But yeah, it's slowly turning. We were talking earlier about, making escrow deposits hard right off the
Right.
bat.
Yeah.
It depends on the property and if it's priced right. And you're saying, is it priced right or is it priced to get bid up?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
It is, and that's interesting because do you want to create a feeding frenzy to bid the price up, or do you want to price it above market so that you're doing a price reduction and waiting for your seller to catch up to you? Do you want excitement about the property for where it could go? All I'm saying is that depending on where the market's at, with if it's listed too high or too low, whatever those specs are, you're going to have a different approach based on the professional you're working with.
That's correct.
Different strategy.
Different strategy, and I'm not going to let you know my strategy. Keep it to myself. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being out here today. We'll do more of these as comes on us because this is a very, very fluid market. It's been fluid for 2 years.
Yeah.
What's changing now? So realistically, I think that's the big thing about it is this. It was fluid 2 years ago. It was fluid a year ago, and it was fluid 6 months ago, and it's still fluid now. It's just a different fluidity. How many times can we say that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
it
what
depends. It depends on the neighborhood.
It depends on the neighborhood.
so
Depends on the area.
It's very
depends on some
specific
stuff.
to you,
Um,
that property, and everything.
It's okay to live in a different spot that maybe you thought you were going to live in, but if you're building some equity right now, that we can't go in there. This is things will adjust again. We don't know when, but things will adjust again, and then it will allow you some opportunity to maybe go back to something that's whatever it's going to be for you. So we appreciate you guys. Thanks for following
Yes,
us.
sir.
Talk to you soon.